Welcome to the Game Changer 00100 show. I'm your host, Game Changer. And today we're going to do something a little different. Different in the sense that this is somewhat sports news. And people that watch me and has watched me for a long time know that I don't really cover sports news. However, this was emailed to me and it was the first thing I seen this morning. So make sure you hit the like button when you watch this on the replay. All right. So received a news post about PJ Washington in shambles after Brittany Renner breakup. After Brittany Renner breakup, Twitter reacts. So, Charlotte basketball player PJ Washington has gone viral, but NBA fans aren't feverishly talking about the University of Kentucky basketball products, professional level play. Rather than his skill, Twitter users have found themselves wrapped up in PJ Washington's allegedly estranged relationship with Brittany Renner. Okay. The name Brittany Renner to me, and we're talking about a person that don't really watch basketball, either college or NBA. The name Brittany Renner does ring somewhat of a bell. I've read this story. I don't know where I heard that name from. I most certainly don't know of this story until now. So I don't know if she's like lightweight famous for whatever it is she did prior to this. I don't know if she's a model or an actress or something like that, but I do know that that name is like, or maybe it's just the name of somebody else too, but I do know that that name is somewhat familiar for whatever reason. All right, let's continue. According to Hip Hop Lately, the fitness model has been romantically linked to James Harden, Drake, Lil Uzi Vert, Jamal Murray, Ben Simpson, Trey Songz, Chris Brown, Colin Kaepernick, and more in the past. But PJ Washington and Brittany Renner had reportedly been going strong for a while, eventually having a baby together roughly a few months ago. May 5th, 2021. All right. So, congratulations for them, I guess. Within a matter of months, rumors started to surface that PJ and Brittany had sadly parted ways. Countless fans have since theorized that Renner had only been with the NBA player in an effort to get pregnant by him. Yeah, that's pretty obvious. Okay. With many pointing to her book, Judge This Cover, which reportedly documents Renner's past sexual experience. However, in a surprising tweet and delete, PJ Washington appears to have confirmed his fans' theories, saying, "You was faking it all along." All right, give me a second. Instead of hitting Twitter to ease PJ Washington's worries about the worries and offer their condolences to him, NBA fans have instead opted to engage in an all-out roasting session of the 22-year-old, dang, he's young, Charlotte Hornets forward. Most fans have joked that Washington should have gone ahead and get ready to start paying child support for another 2 decades. Yeah, he will. While others have expressed their amazement with Brittany Renner's alleged elaborate plan to trap Washington in the first place. Okay, so that's the story as it stands. $200,000 a month is how much she received in child support. Now, I remember somewhere in this space, people were talking and saying that it takes about $240,000 to raise a child. That's for the duration. I'm pretty sure that doesn't include college if you plan to pay for your children's college tuition. So from birth to 18, it costs about $240,000 to raise a child in its entirety. And that is how much he is talking. That's how much the judge awarded this woman monthly. And I use the word award. That's how much the judge awarded this woman monthly. I don't think, this is me speculating, I don't think that a prenup would have helped in this particular scenario simply because this is a matter of child support. So that goes under a whole different category. And trust me, I'm not a legal expert, but I don't think it would have helped very much in this scenario. But before we get into the details of their relationship and breakup, and trust me, I'm not going to go deep into the woods because it really wasn't much of a relationship. Before we go deep into that, I want to point out the people's reaction to it. They said no condolences were offered, and people decided to make fun of him instead. Brothers, we got to do better than this. Were there telltale signs that something was about to go wrong? Absolutely. Should he have waited before marrying and impregnating this woman? Absolutely. Can a lot of guys say to themselves, this wouldn't have happened to me though? Absolutely not. You see, just because this guy didn't see the obvious signs don't mean anything. That means that he didn't pass phase 1 of her fuckery. If he had decided to wait 10 years, the results likely would have been the same. If he had decided to wait 5 years, the results would have likely have been the same. See, here's the thing. There is no counter to this. And that's why guys and people are making fun, poking, laughing, and talking about this CJ character, player, professional basketball player. That's why they're poking, making fun, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. There's no counter to this because guess what? Eventually, every man wants to have a child. And at any time, with anyone, this could happen. Now, apparently, this time it happened with a light-skinned black woman, but this could happen if you got an Asian woman, a Hispanic woman, a white woman. People say that this woman is attractive, and I tend to agree. They have a picture of her after she had the child or holding the child, and she's a very attractive woman. This could have happened with an ugly woman. This could have happened with an overweight woman. This could happen with any woman that's fertile. Every time you decide to impregnate a person, you run the risk of something like this happening. There's no defense against it. You want a baby, you have to worry that this might happen. And you could say, oh, well, he should have. Yeah, you could say should have until it happens to you. Now, there's measures that you could take to help prevent this, but the truth of the matter is the way the laws are set up, this is almost inevitable. Every woman who is with a married man can do this who's with a wealthy man. Wait, did I say that or did I say married? Anyway, every woman who's with a high value man can do this. Remind you, this is child support, meaning that this can happen whether you're married or not. For people who talk about the non-state sanctioned marriage, this likely still would have happened the exact same way. This woman has a lot of telltale signs. Absolutely. The fact that she's had a past with a lot of high value guys, it seems like she was going down the list until she found somebody who didn't see through her crap. Yeah, absolutely. And from looking at some of the pictures, it looks like she was with him in college because they have a picture of her here and she has a Kentucky university uniform on, I guess, to support her quote unquote boo before he actually made it. So it looks like he was just somebody with, high potential in college. And she's like, okay, I'm going to get on this early. And then, he hit the draft as he was predicted to do or projected to do. And right around that time, she cashed in. So she got him when he was green. She seen the opportunity and said, oh, wow, this guy is going somewhere. I'm going to get in on the ground floor and present myself as something other than a whore. He's not used to being wealthy yet. So I'm going to get at him then. It says, let's see. So somebody wrote a tweet and it says, this is weird. Brittany Renner was preying on PJ Washington. He was 18 playing at Kentucky. She was 26, about to be 27. The fuck does a 27-year-old have in common with somebody who just graduated high school? Okay. So here's what happened. Because I didn't know he was 18. I thought she might have gotten with him at senior year or something like that. So she played the long game as opposed to the short game. And, no pun intended. This is not a basketball pun, even though I'm pretty sure there's something to the level of short game versus long game there. But so she played the long game. She tried playing the short game with people who were already rich and famous. I read the list earlier. She tried that. And she realized, like, okay, this isn't working. People who are already wealthy and famous have safeguards against women like me. So I'm going to get at somebody young, dumb, and full of enthusiasm. I'm going to make my move on somebody who's not used to the groupie lifestyle. And I'm also going to earn brownie points for being a quote unquote day one. So basically, fresh out of high school, this dude gets a baddie. Did he get baddies before? Absolutely, but none with this level of sophistication. And when I say absolutely, I'm assuming like there's nothing really wrong with this guy. He's presumably tall, handsome, and athletic. So I don't see why he wouldn't have gotten chicks in high school. Nevertheless, you get this, fitness model who comes at you out of nowhere. You're 18. Wow, she really just played the long game, because at 18, you really don't know what will happen. You don't know if this guy's going to make it to the NBA. But she just like, look, I am going to work this. So he gave her years, all of his college years, of a vetting process. Hell, she might have even picked up the check a couple times. And he was like, something is clear to go. This is my day one. She was with me since high school graduation. And what could possibly go wrong? $200,000 per month later. And his tweet was saying, his tweet that he deleted because and I can understand why he would delete it, because brothers don't have no mercy. They'll rather attack than support a fellow brother, who was a victim of something. So he said it and he removed it. But basically the tweet was saying, she was faking it all along. So now that makes more sense, because, for at least 4 years to pretend like she likes somebody. Imagine what that's like. Being with somebody for 4 years, knowing that all that time, 4 years is a long time, all that time they was just waiting to get a bag off of you. 4 years of I love you, rubbing your back at night, comforting you when you had a bad game, everything, everything that a woman knows that men like. 4 years of developing, at least 4 years of developing a connection with somebody that you thought was genuine, you thought was sincere. 4 years, and then have the baby, and 2 weeks later, ha, I got you. I want a divorce. Like, dang, you didn't even wait till it healed up. Now I want a divorce. Got the baby. I got the bag. I want a divorce. I've been waiting 4 years for this crap. Yeah, Brian Washington, 2.5 million per year. Just for being beautiful and having a baby. So it is worth it. Don't get me wrong. It is worth it. But the level of deceit and depravity is real. And the higher value men you are, the more you're going to come across these level twos. Now, for those of you who don't know, and this is your first time watching, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. A level two is someone, okay, so we see these get the bag women online who really ain't talking about nothing. These are the women who are just talking about, like, getting free dinners and stuff like that, and level up so you can take advantage of a guy. And then when they talk about what they get from a guy, they say something like, he paid for my nails, or just some trite, useless, he filled my car up with gas one time. It's like, really? You did all that for that? He helped me with my Sprint bill. That's what they're talking about. It's like, okay, that's petty stuff. A guy can walk away from that unscathed. That's short-term stuff. But the level two, that's the next level. And guys will start to see this when they either reach the next level of economic success, or they are projected to become the next level of economic success. You're going to start to meet these women like, maybe like 2 years before you leave med school. And they're going to start coming out the woodwork. And shout out to Belle Biv DeVoe. Gonna say, she's so fly. She'll drive you right out of your mind and steal your heart when you're blind. Beware, she's scheming. She'll make you think you're dreaming. You'll fall in love and you'll be screaming, demon. That's a whole nother level of deception that most guys are not prepared for. But then again, most guys don't have to prepare for that level of deception, because most guys aren't going to have $2.5 million a year to give to a woman. Now, this isn't just reserved for the millionaires. This is reserved for, this could happen to six-figure guys, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. But you have to be on point. And when it happens to you or somebody else, just know that it was nothing that you could do to have prevented this. There is no defense on this, just like a basketball game. At the end of the game, you could say that there was something you could have done different. But the truth of the matter is, it's eventually going to happen. You're eventually going to lose a game. Okay, so I'm going to say this and then I'm going to go. Actually, I'm going to say a couple of things. Then I'm going to go. Because like I say, this is going to be a short video. Notice how You hear a lot of Black women complain that Black men in the NBA don't really mess with Black women. They say, and this isn't true, but this is their complaint, that, oh, they go to white girls when they made it, or they go to Mexican girls, or they go to such and such and such and such. They complain that they go to anything other than a Black woman, particularly a dark-skinned Black woman, when they made it to the NBA. But you don't really hear them on this. They're not saying, Black women, you are ruining our reputation by doing stuff like this. At least the women that, or at least the guys who are with the women that we complain about, at least they're still with them. They're not saying that. They're not saying you're destroying our reputation. You are making it more difficult for another Black, light-skinned Black woman, or what have you, to actually get with these guys. They're not saying that. Where's that complaint? So I wanted to bring that aspect out, that this can happen, that they don't really care about that. It seems like the women who make that complaint about the professional athletes, because those are the only men worth mentioning. The women that can make the complaint about the professional athletes um, who date out seem to want to just say, this is my hustle. This is a Black woman's hustle. We're supposed to be taking these men to the child support court for $200,000 a month. We're supposed to be the ones that do that because we own them and we have first rights to the $2.4 million annually. We have first rights to receive that. And the second thing I wanted to bring up before I go, the legal system here in the US is making it impossible for someone to start a healthy family. Who can create a family with laws like this? Knowing that at any time, your wife and mother of your child can leave you for this. You're incentivizing her to leave, and you are making men skittish about being married in the first place. What is he to do? What is somebody like this to do? If you're young, wealthy, tall, and presumably handsome. I mean, I doubt that. I don't really see any reason why a woman wouldn't say he's handsome. And presumably handsome, you can say pause or whatever if you want to. But, if this can happen to him, then what chance does a man have? Of course, a guy is going to be skittish. Of course, there's going to be a significant waiting period before he actually gets serious about, marriage or something like that. And then women live their best lives. And then sometime in their early 30s, they say, you know something? I'm going to seriously start trying to find a high value man. It's like, but if you just start right now, he's going to want to put in 4 years. And now after this, guys are going to want to put in more than 4 years, which means that you're going to go from, 30 to 31, 32, 33, 34, and then 30 more. Because he's still going to be skittish. And you are going to come closer and closer to the wall, fertility issues, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. The system is not really made for marriage to happen. There was a time when, people like this just married out of high school and stayed married. But before the time of no fault divorce, you can be like, hey, I want to get married. Like, okay, I'll marry you. And you just kind of trusted that nothing would happen because there was no incentive for anything to happen. There's no longer any trust in the institution of marriage. And this is hurting both sides. It's hurting the women who genuinely want to get married, especially the ones who do it, in their 30s. It's hurting them. And it's hurting the men who genuinely want to get married. America is a great place to live, work. In fact, in my travels, I haven't found any other country with greater opportunity. I haven't found another country where a person can advance randomly. Just by being unique in a particular area. I haven't found any other place like that in the world where stuff like that happens. Like, we live in a country where if you just have like a very unique voice and you do cartoon voiceovers, you could become wealthy. Where in other countries, you have to, for example, my girl's brother-in-law, my friend, he had a chemical engineering degree in Cameroon and couldn't find a job. He had to come here and get his and re-educate himself in computer engineering. And then he's, found a job and he's doing well and, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Only in America. There are people out there with PhDs in certain countries that still, that are medical doctors that still can't find work in their country. So as far as opportunities, this is a great place to make money. America is a great place for a lot of things. It is not a great place to get married in. It is not a great place to have children in. So with that being said, I want to thank my Cash Apps and Super Chats, managers and moderators, those who are listening silently, and those who participate in the chat. If you haven't already, hit the like button. If you haven't already, hit the subscribe button. And once again, this is Game Changer 00100. Game over. Peace.